Especially because, like, Larry himself is not a particularly cool dude.
No one wants to actually, like, pretend that they are Larry, right?
This might be the most gamer podcast of all time.
Why is that?
Did I say gamer? I meant least video games. My brain just had sort of a short. This might be the least video game episode about a video game podcast, specifically Video Game Podtimism, the Optimist video game variety show where two best friends talk about the wonderful world of gaming. My name is Chase.
My name is David.
I feel like we're just going to talk about the Smash Brothers, huh?
The Smash Brothers and maybe a couple other surprises.
Maybe a few others. Hey, welcome to the podcast, David.
Thank you.
We're here.
Did you just welcome me onto our podcast?
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to have the door held open for you.
You caught me off guard there. I was like, excuse me?
Sorry. Yeah, welcome in.
Thank you.
We do this weekly.
Mm-hmm.
It was Bachelor Weekend this weekend. And I feel like pretty much this whole podcast is going to kind of orbit around that.
Yes, for people who don't know, Chase is getting #cherried, as he said, over the weekend. Cherried as in married and chase, a portmanteau, if you will.
It really needs to be clarified what two words are being combined there, because there is such a kind of grimy subtext underneath it.
Yeah.
That, like, it's chase and married, everyone, okay?
Yes, chase and married, combine them together, you get cherried.
I'm going to get Chase married soon.
I'm going to get Chase married soon, said Emily Alice.
Yeah,
true. He'll be getting married in almost exactly 1 month from today.
A month minus a day.
A month minus a day from today. So yeah, this is his last day of the second to last month of his life of being a single man.
I guess
kind of. Not married, man. I wouldn't say you're single.
Not married. I always found it really bizarre when people are like, hey, it's their last time as a single man. Like, did this mean nothing to y'all?
Yeah.
I've been, like, in a committed relationship for some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I've been in a relationship for 8 years, y'all. This is not the last day of being single. That was, like, in 2014. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you've been in this relationship for a long-ass time.
It's true. So, like, don't call it a single. We're just changing that marital status, and I'm changing my last name.
He's going from committed to super committed.
Ultra. This is plus committed.
Ultra plus committed. Plus ultra committed?
Yeah. I'm going beyond. I'm going Super Saiyan committed now.
And this is to go even further beyond. Heart.
Oh, nice. I didn't even think about that. Like All Might. That's pretty sick, actually.
That is pretty cool.
I never would have put that together with All Be, but All Heart is a little bit closer to All Might.
Yeah. One, you're just like, you're all bees, which is not fun. But if you're all heart, that is kind of cool.
That is a little cooler than All Bees, which I think sounds pretty shitty. Wasn't that a character in MGS3? Just the bee guy?
Oh, the pain?
Was it the pain?
I think it's the pain, right? Because he's just getting stung by bees the whole time.
I think being all bees kind of sounds bad.
I'm all bees. What do you want from me? I can't do anything because I'm just in pain.
Sucks. Ow. So, question. Have you been playing any video games that I don't know about?
The answer is, I think so. I don't think I have been.
Because we can just talk about the games that we both played.
I think that's probably the move. Because the only other one that I played really is MGS.
MGS2?
Yeah.
What you been doing in MGS2, David? What you been playing in there? How's that going?
It's good. I enjoy it. Yeah. I'm very bad at this game.
Yeah,
I'm markedly worse at this game than I was at MGS1. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I get big time Zelda Wind Waker vibes with this game for me.
I kind of see that.
And Chase was watching me play this game because we were together this weekend.
That is true.
And he was walking me through it. And if he wasn't there to walk me through it, I would probably be taking a lot longer to play this game right now.
There's a section from like, I guess somehow spoilers from GS2, but from when you start playing as Raiden, the secondary character, until probably like an hour or two into that part of the game, like it's a little befuddling. There's a lot of stuff that is not necessarily like crystal clear where and what you need to do, or at least how, I should say. I think it is clear what you need to do, but like actually doing it is sometimes like, wait, what the fuck? Like, where is this thing?
Yeah. I was glad that you were there because you've played this game approximately like, 100 times probably?
I don't know. I was trying to estimate it the other day. There was definitely a summer where I was trying to beat the game like 2 or 3 times in a day, and I was doing that for a little while.
Were you just, your casual summer thing was just speed running MGS2?
Yeah, I liked the game so much that I just wanted to see like how fast can I get this done. I think I feel like I was
here.
I'm sure there was a speed run of the game at the time, and I bet I was not that close, but like we were getting around like 3 hours or something like that. It wasn't that long.
3 hours.
It was pretty quick. Without the cutscenes, it's not that long of a game, all things considered.
That's very fair. But you still have to, like, some of those boss battles, you really ought to, like, have it down what to do.
Yeah, interesting. So the fastest speedrun right now is 1 hour and 7 minutes, which seems impossible.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, that is astounding. So not quite there, but yeah, it was definitely running through it. So like guiding you through the game, I wasn't really thinking about any of the game. It's just sort of a reflex at this point of like, here is where you will need to go if you like want to do this part or that part or whatever. It's not like, okay, so what are you actually doing here? No, it's like, okay, there's claymores up there. You have to be careful about that.
I was not. Spoiler alert.
The spoilers, the claymores are tough to deal with.
I think I just had to jump over them. I think that was the trick.
Yeah.
Do a little cartwheel.
Yeah, sure. That's fair. Maybe we should save the MGS talk for the episode, huh?
Yeah, we'll save the rest of this for the episode. But rest assured, everybody, I am bad at this game. I've died so many times. I've alerted so many dudes. I just run into homies around corners without knowing it. It's probably pretty comical to watch me play this game.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Or painful if you're Chase.
Yeah.
Chase finds it painful to watch me playing a video game badly.
Okay. Specifically one that I have played a lot of.
Sure. But Wind Waker, have you played a lot of Wind Waker?
No.
You had a hard time watching me play Wind Waker.
Yeah. It was tough. It was challenging.
The flashback is going on in his head right now.
I know, yeah. I just went like glazed over the eyes for a second, remembering you trying to like jump into that like one island with the big tree in the middle that you have to like do a couple of hook shots to get to. Just so brutal. So rough. Takes like a full couple of minutes to get back up to the top.
I remember that one. I fell off that cliff quite a few times.
I feel like one of them was on purpose. Like you got up to the top and you're like, how about one more fucker?
I do remember one time when I was like trying to mess with you and be like, hey, I'm close to the edge. It's going to happen. And then I accidentally also went over the edge because I was too close to it. Yes. That definitely happened. I was like messing with you. I didn't do it on purpose. I never went over the edge on purpose is I guess what I'm getting to. I tried to like mess with you and like pretend like I was going to do it, but then I ended up doing it. It's a great time.
The fake out turned real.
The fake out turned real.
Well, cool. I'm glad you're getting through it because I like have approximately a mountain of things to say about MGS2. There's so much in there.
I got some things to say. This game's interesting.
It's so interesting, and I think like the vast majority of the shit that is interesting about it isn't really like visible until the last like 10% of the game. And so like it's like the whole thing is recontextualized in the last like hour of the game or so.
Sure.
God, it's so nuts. Anyway, I'm excited for you to finish it so we can record a ungodly long episode. That'll probably have to be like a 2 recording session sort of deal.
Sure. Okay. I'm into it.
And then I also assume you're playing Smash Brothers, or you've played Smash
Brothers and Mario Party.
Yes. I've also played these 2 video games, unsurprisingly.
Yes.
There was a lot of Smash Brothers at this party, bachelor party.
The bachelor party chases stipulations for a bachelor party VRBO were a large house with lots of TVs. For smashing.
Yeah.
And I think we did it.
We definitely did it. We accomplished it. It also had the added benefit of having like kind of a downstairs area that we could play video games in. I don't know why that feels good. It definitely had a gamer
den.
A little bit, right?
This was a very masculine VRBO. I've never been to one that has been like seemingly tailored for me and my
like dude bros,
friends, right? It was weird, but it was weird. It was perfect.
It was sort of like I walked into like a simulation of someone's house in 2004.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just so strange. And like obviously, you know, y'all have been in like a boomer's house before that looks like an Olive Garden, but like it's sort of like that, but like everything was sort of there, just in place correctly for it to feel like this is 2004 and I am playing Smash Bros with my bros.
Boomers do be decorating like they're in an Olive Garden. It's true.
It's like it's like the Tuscan sort of like brown walls and like brass fixtures and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if it is comforting or like so brutal to look at. It's my brain goes back and forth on that one. Because like in the house, I'm like, this is nice, it's comfortable. And when I like step outside of it, I'm like, it's 2022. We can't it can't be like this.
But it is like this, Chase.
But it is like that. So yeah, we played an extreme amount of Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Do you have anything new to say about Smash Brothers?
The DLC characters scare me. I don't know what's going on. I've known these characters that have been in the game for so long, so well, and then you just throw these crazy DLC characters in, and they do every single one of them has like these weird, strange quirks to them, which is a lot of fun, honestly. Like I say it scares me, but really it excites me because it's just a lot more to explore and learn about the game, because I really haven't touched much of Ultimate, honestly. Like my peak Smash gaming was probably Smash 4.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one that I poured the most time and effort into.
Yeah.
Ultimate came out, I think I was in grad school or graduated from grad school, something close to that. And I just didn't play it as much, right? I had other things going on. My friends weren't around who I like to Smash with. So that one just kind of fell to the side for me. But
for sure.
Then this weekend came along and I was ready to go. It was great.
Yeah.
Just dip in and experience all the new characters. It was a lot of fun.
It was cool. I also don't really know what the DLC characters do.
Yeah.
Because I think I played it a little bit on launch and like had a good time with it. But yeah, similar to you, I feel like this game came out in like 2018 or something like that. And that's exactly also when I moved to Seattle. And so like there was not really the same sort of community that I had in SAC to like play Smash Bros with people.
Mm-hmm.
Even like a person, like moving to a new city, you don't know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, also didn't really play it. And subsequently also did not like play the DLC characters as they came out.
Yeah.
Had kind of dipped in here and there, like was interested when they were putting them out, but definitely not to the capacity of like, I'm going to play Min Min and figure out how she plays, or like, I'm going to get good with Banjo-Kazooie or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that never really happened in the same way that it did for, any of the other number of characters that were in 4 or who are also in Ultimate.
Yeah, I can see you getting good with Banjo.
Yeah, it sort of feels on brand, right? Like he hits pretty hard and he's kind of a medium to larger sized character, but who knows? I have no idea. I stuck with Donkey this weekend.
You sure did.
Dressed up in my Donkey Kong outfit for the Melbourne, as we call it.
The Melbourne, yes, the legendary competition.
We wanted to host a grand melee, as you put it, and so we did a 50 stock 7-man smash. Which it was a trial, David. That was an exhausting experience.
It was truly a trial by combat.
I really felt like I didn't blink for a long time and just had to be so singularly focused for what ended up being an hour and a half of Smash Brothers.
I'm pretty sure I merged with my character at some point. I think I was Lucario. I think I became Lucario at one point.
You're like absolute madman. You picked random for the grand melee.
Random is my main character, Chase.
I get that, but for 90 full ass minutes, I think I would have gone insane staring into Lucario for that long.
I choose chaos, Chase. I choose chaos.
They say be careful what you're looking at because it might be looking back. And in this case, Lucario's blue, terrifying man eyes.
Lucario, the Lord of Frenzied Flame.
Yeah, he's gonna imprint something on you.
He does have very strong man eyes, doesn't he?
He's sort of a humanoid and intimidating
human dog fighter man.
Just so none of the haters come for me. I know he has red eyes. All right, it's all good. You got your bases covered. So we were setting this up, and in Smash Ultimate, you have to go and set up rules. And I started typing in the melee. As in the grand melee. But autocorrect on the Switch tossed me a real nice alternative, which was the Melbourne, which we stuck with.
Oh, that was quite the clutch addition by Papa Nintendo himself.
It really fit. After we said it all weekend, I felt like I really understood what the Melbourne meant. It was nice.
Yeah, it feels a little fancy, a little international, right?
Yeah.
But Australian. So It's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, there's a threatening aura around it. Nice people, but there's some creatures in there that will fuck you up.
Nice people, they'll fuck you up, and very competitive. Australians.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
That's how you know. So we did that. It was 90 minutes. I did win, just so we're all clear.
Chase did win. He was going to make that clear to everybody.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of my victories, we also did a tournament right afterwards. Just a 1v1 tournament. You're the one who set it up. I just took the W, David.
It was you and me in the finals.
It's true.
You won.
It was great.
I chose random. I was Pikachu and got my ass handed to me.
When you're going up against DK, man, that's a tough matchup.
But we did end up doing a half Melbourne, which we called a Sydney.
Yeah. Which was also, I'd say a 25 stock is a lot more palatable experience than 50.
It still ended up being like, 45 minutes? I think exactly half of Melbourne.
Exactly, yeah. It was almost exactly 45 minutes, which was like shocking to see.
Which your boy clutched out in a win.
Yes, you did. It was nice.
Thank you very much.
That was good. Were you Kazuya in that one?
I was Kazuya.
That's so nuts.
I was down. It was me and Tyler.
Yes.
And he was King D to D. And he had 3 stocks. I had 1.
Yes.
And I somehow managed to win. I clutched it out.
A shocking turn of events.
It was a shocking turn of events. But that was one of the most hyped Smash moments I've had in quite some time, or maybe even in my life in general. I'm just like, I just invested 45 minutes into this game, and I'm now the victor. Felt pretty good.
This is what I get out of Dota, David. Those games are not quick.
But when you lose...
Painful.
Yeah.
A truly painful experience. Yeah, anyway, it was great. That was a good time. I love Smash Brothers. I never seem to get tired of it.
Yeah. And we played so many more games of Smash than just those ones over the weekend.
Yeah.
Like that was these were the main courses, but there was a lot of appetizers and desserts to be had as well.
Just seemed like any time that we had like like an hour free, we just sort of leaked into the game den and started playing Smash.
It's just so easy to pop in and play.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, it was great. Do you have any other Smash feelings?
I love it.
It's good.
That's all I gotta say.
Good fucking game.
Good fucking game.
Can I tell you about some games I'm playing, David?
Please.
So yeah, also played Smash Bros. It's very good. There's 2 other things, and these are going to feel very bizarre. Like I said, the least video game episode. I downloaded, because I was scared, Metal Gear Solid 5, because I'm like...
Because you were scared?
Because the other games are so hard to get a hold of that like I was so concerned that if I didn't just like get it, it wouldn't be there anymore. Because like we were trying to do this series on Metal Gear Solid, and like, you know, 1 was pretty easy to emulate / play the game that I own, but 2, 3, and 4 are like really not readily available.
Yeah.
I managed to buy a like physical copy of an HD remaster for the Xbox, but I got lucky that I have a disk drive in the Xbox One rather than like, you know, digging up an Xbox Series X, because like I don't have an Xbox One on hand. So like it's they're just not easy to go to hold of. Anyway, point being, I downloaded Metal Gear Solid 5 because I was like, I just want to have this. I like booted up the first like 45 minutes and was like, I can't do this. I can't do this right now. So like got frightened out of playing the rest of the video game because like there's so much context that I feel like I'm gonna need to have to play that game.
I think we got to play
like,
Peace Walker.
We got to play Peace Walker. It's been years since I've played 3 all the way through, or 4. So like none of that's going to really like be there in my head when I'm playing it. And so I was worried like I'm going to ruin my experience playing this game for a podcast if I go back and just like dig into this. So didn't play very much. But it looks great visually.
It is a very good looking game. This is true.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it in like 10 years whenever we get to it. I have also, at the risk of sounding like kind of the most boring video gamer ever, I've started playing Formula 1 2022, the video game.
Formula 1?
Yes. So the listener and David, bear with me for like 1 minute. If you don't like it, you can skip to the next chapter. Okay. David included. You can fast forward in time.
I'm just going to meditate right now.
You're doing a battle meditation trend. I know you have the click from Click.
Oh,
Adam Sandler's movie to skip forward in time, but
what a reference out of nowhere.
It's always on my mind. But we do know how that turned out for Mr. Sandler.
So Mr. Sandy.
Be wary.
Cried in that movie for sure.
Oh my god, dude, it was brutal when he's like
that movie got fucked up way too much.
When he's like it's in like raining in the hospital, and he's like laying on the ground like the fuck happened to my life? Like, oh my God, dude.
I was like, I thought this was supposed to be a funny Sandler movie.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to cry?
Got heavy. So in the last, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, I've started watching the Drive to Survive on Netflix, which is like a show about Formula One, because I've heard from a lot of people who don't necessarily love Formula One or necessarily love sports that like, hey, the show's really good. Sure enough, it is really good. It's very entertaining and like interesting. I am sure that they are like playing fast and loose with how they show people in the show, right? Like it's a documentary and it's like it's supposed to be kind of like high drama stuff.
Sure.
And so like I think they are probably taking some liberties of like, we're going to show you this scene, then exactly this one after that, right?
Yeah.
Kind of create a narrative, which like, you know, I guess that's television, but like, you know, I don't think that this sport is exactly what they've depicted in the show, but nevertheless, it is pretty interesting and pretty fun to me. I don't have a lot of interest in other sports that revolve around specific people. Like,
sure.
I really, or honestly, a lot of sports. Like, I enjoy the Seattle Kraken. I do not know very many of the players on the Kraken.
Sure.
I could tell you some of the Sacramento Kings, a basketball team that I adore. Like, the players are usually not the thing that I am there for. It's like, how does this team work as a whole? And then what does that lead to, right? I'm sure if I was curious enough, you know, you could dig into the details of why the team works as it does, which is, you know, of course, the people who are on it. But usually I'm not that invested in it to be like, I need to know like the C tier lineup of this team. Not really. However, in Formula One, it is such a small pool of racers and such a small pool of teams that it's hard not to get to know everybody, because a person will play an entire season on just one team, of course. But a team only has 2 racers and they're racing at the same time. So at a maximum, you've got 20 people, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just not that many people when like shit's happening all the time. And especially in the show when it's like highlighting different people and what they're doing and all these different teams and their dynamics. And so I've been like pretty into it. It's been really interesting and really fun to like kind of get into a world that I knew literally nothing about before I started watching this. I also, as I've said before, in racing games, usually don't care about the game by the time you are racing Bugattis. Like, that is not the most interesting part of the game. That part of it is not horribly fun for me. I like it when I'm in like the worst Honda Civic and I'm just trying to be like really good in that car.
Yeah. And
so like the prospect of racing literal supercars was like, I don't know if that's necessarily that good. However, this was on Game Pass, so I was like, let me just give it a shot, see what's up. And as it turns out, it's quite fun. There is more to it than just racing, like in the sense that like Gran Turismo and Forza are like mostly specifically about going fast around a track.
Yeah.
Like this one is that too, but there's a lot of like stuff in there, like Formula One specific stuff that, you know, you have to know, or not necessarily you have to know, but you have to do, right? A lot of like, you don't just race, you have to do like this qualifying lap where like nobody else is on the track and you go and like do your best race time. You also are trying out different like programs in the car, and your like pit team is communicating with you of like, okay, this time we're going to try and do really like hard late braking or whatever.
Sure.
To try and see like what numbers we get out of the car, because in Formula One, that's like a big part of it is, you know, we're constantly tuning and adjusting these cars to get the best performance out of it.
Yeah.
Again, some of that makes my eyes kind of glaze over, but like at the end of the day, cargo vroom, and that's pretty cool. It is
cargo vroom. That's cool.
It is interesting. I will say, like, if I'm trying to distinguish this from other racing games that I enjoy, I think the presence of like collisions is ever present in this game. Like in Gran Turismo, you can kind of give other drivers a little kiss as you're going by, and it's like not that big of a deal. Whereas in this one, like if you kind of go wheel to wheel with somebody, like your tires will just like rip off, right?
Oh my God.
Which is how it works in like the real race. Like going wheel to wheel is like a very dangerous thing to do, because like these cars are like going so fast and they are meant to be like just as heavy as they need to be.
They're so finely like, tuned that if
exactly.
anything besides the track hits them, they're fucked.
Yes. So I think like the level of danger is a lot higher in this, which is fun, right? I think it makes it a lot more of a defensive kind of racing game, whereas like even in Forza Horizon, like you can slam into somebody and the game's like, yeah, you know, whatever, it's fine. It also has the feature of like being able to rewind, but it still has the presence of like the threat of crashing into someone is always really there. And not to mention, like you play out an entire season of Formula One, which is goes all around the world, and like these tracks are all just so different from one another that like they feel really distinct, but at the same time it is fun to go from one season to another and be like, okay, here's my second shot at racing in Monaco, because like it's a hard track and I didn't do well last time, and that led my team to get this many points, and at the end of the season we were short by 5 or whatever, so I would like to do good in this one. And so I think like parts of the stuff that make Mario Kart really fun, of like taking one race as just one of 4, or in this case one of 21, 22, something like that. I don't remember how many races there are in a season, but it makes each race feel interesting in a way of like, okay, I didn't do that well in this one, or like I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get a great seat in this one, but I'm pretty confident in my ability to race in the next track or something. Or even if your team's car doesn't have a very good car for like going flat out, right? Like it doesn't have a top speed. You can kind of bank on those other levels that are like really tight, that have really tight turns that you're able to kind of like maneuver around in and shit like that. So it's just interesting. I really like it. And they also like have a bunch of real life people in the other cars, right?
Sure.
So like, it's this season's racers. So it's funny to like be racing and be like, fuck you, Max Verstappen. I do not like you, dude. And kind of like leave him in your dust,
What do you have against Max?
He's kind of a turd.
Is he a heel in the show?
In the beginning, and I think I've heard from people who have watched more of it that like maybe he's less turdly later, but like he's just like one of those dudes who like is so singularly focused on winning that like he just kind of comes off as an asshole.
Sure.
There are plenty of people in the past who have been like, in the first spot who are a lot more humble and like more regular people, rather than like him being kind of a whiny, nasty dude to all of his teammates and like just not being all that fun to like listen to.
How does Hamilton come across? Lewis Hamilton, is that right?
Yes. He seems like a good dude. Definitely like explains that his, brain works in the sense of like, I have to be the best at this and like I really want to push myself to do that, but is often kind of like self-critical in a way that, I don't know, maybe is hurtful, but like is more often self-reflective when something goes wrong, rather than like, fuck this car, fuck the pit team, like everybody's fucking up, I'm racing the best I can, like all that sort of shit, So I like Hamilton. He seems like a cool dude.
Nice.
And obviously my boy, Charles Leclerc. Love the guy. Real good. Leclerc.
Oh, is it really Leclerc?
Yeah.
Oh, but you call him Leclerc because he drives a car.
Yeah, sure. Why not? He's drives for Ferrari. Just like, seems like a cool dude. He also plays video games. He plays F1 games. So like, nice.
He's the homie.
Anyway, so you're off the form. You're formally released from the Formula One chat. You can go back to your regularly scheduled video games.
I was just looking at what games got released for the PlayStation Game Pass this month.
Yeah.
There's like an indoor motocross game in there this month. And I'm like, that might be a good one to play for good games.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea at all.
It looked cool. You can like make tracks and I don't know if there's a story mode, but there's like a career mode. Go around and race. I just wanted to be like Excite Bike or Wario Stadium, but a simulation.
David, can I tell you about my Podtimists thing of the week?
Please.
It is LARPing, David.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which we will expound upon in a moment, but live action role playing, which isn't necessarily video games, but like they're cousins.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
It's really fun. When people think of LARPing, I think they think of that video from like 2006 of people throwing fireballs at each other that are just like duct tape tennis balls in the forest, which it is that. It can be that, but it can also be some other shit.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to like what do they call it? Like a murder mystery party.
Oh, like those are fun. That's
a LARP.
That's definitely a LARP.
Pretty much anything that is like a game physically that isn't necessarily like a sport that might involve some kind of like suspension of disbelief is a lot of the times LARPing, right? Like when you're playing a game that is a little bit outside of your own experience physically, that like you're kind of LARPing. Mm-hmm. That's sort of a LARP. Mm-hmm. I feel like an escape room is kind of a LARP.
Oh, for sure. It is instead of it's like an inverse LARP. Instead of you being the role player in a non-role playing environment, the room, the environment is making you play a role. Does that make sense?
Shit, yeah, it's true. The room is LARPing.
The room is LARPing, and you have to just deal with it because it's forcing you to do this shit.
Wow, that's cool. I love that.
It's a forced LARP.
Forced LARP.
But I love me an escape room. Escape room's fuck, dude.
Yes, it's good. I like doing it. I I'm sure I've brought this up before, but took like a class in college about LARPing and like played a bunch of LARPs in there, and like was very surprised to see just how fun that is. I like to play D&D, and I feel like LARPing and D&D are like so close to each other.
Oh yeah, they're siblings
like,
for sure.
Yeah, of like you're kind of playing a character, and you kind of have to like gamify physical actions from time to time. And it's so much fun. Like, who doesn't like playing pretend? That's sick.
Yeah, it's growing up playing pretend,
which is good. I was talking to Emily Alice about this the other day, because she said like in her, I think it's like late high school age, like maybe early college, she played a lot of Ninja Tag. Do you remember this?
Sure, yeah.
Of like, turning a lot of lights out and playing like essentially hide and seek, but in just like bizarre adult places. That's great. I think like everybody, not everybody, but like I know a lot of people who when they hit like kind of their early adult age are like, is there anything from my like early childhood that was actually cool that like we stopped doing for no reason?
Yeah.
And I kind of consider LARPing one of those things where like it's a gamified version of pretend, and like it's fun. You're just using your creativity, and it's like that's cool. That's sick. And more about that later.
Yeah.
Do you have something fueling your sense of Podtimism, David?
I do.
What is it?
It's Friends.
It's Friends.
This is the sound of Chase's life force slowly seeping from his body as he watches Friends.
That is a reference to an earlier episode.
Featuring Ross Geller as Ross.
Yeah, I have a hard time watching Friends, but no, you mean real life Friends, right?
Yes, real actual human being friends that you interact with and play games with.
Yeah.
Some games are just so much better with friends.
Oh, yeah,
and I guess this time I'm saying friends in particular to unlock the exponential fun that is Smash Bros. Smash Bros is a lot of fun on your own, but it is just so incredibly, amazingly fun when you play it with a group of friends on a couch together.
It's really something else, yeah.
It is not the same experience whatsoever.
No.
And that was just a blast and a half this last weekend to do that.
Yeah, it was good as hell. Plus, like, being able to play Metal Gear Solid 2 together. Friends.
That was true. Metal Gear Solid 2... Mario Party. I've awakened a Mario Party demon in Mallory. She's just gunning for Mario Party all the time now. She's ready to go. Yeah. Even though I stole her star. Yeah. She's still ready. She still loves me, which was impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive. Yeah. Video games are better with friends. That is true. Most of the games I feel like that I have like dumped a lot of time into are the ones that I can play with friends or, people. Not necessarily multiplayer games, but like a lot of the times multiplayer games. I think of Dota and Smash are like the two things that I've just played a ton of hours of.
Sure.
And both of those are very driven by like, I had people in my life who are also very impassioned about playing those things. So like, Gotta play it. It's fun. Yeah. It's really good.
Rock Band 2 for me as well.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so much Rock Band. My God.
It's like a thing to do. Like if I told my friends like, hey, is everybody down to come watch me play Metal Gear Solid 3 over the weekend? I'd get, some people who are like, okay.
I'd be there.
But yeah, you would be there. And probably Garen. But like, I feel like the vast majority of people like, that doesn't sound fun for like all of us. Whereas like Rock Band, yes, that does sound fun for all of us.
Yeah.
That sounds very good for everybody. So like, it just makes it better. It's good. David, do you want to move on to our main thing?
Let's do it.
Cool. Let's do it. Hey, David.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, it's the main thing we're doing.
It's the main thing this week. It's not good games.
It's not good games.
There will be no hot stats.
Sorry. Unless, we could just play the hot stats if you want to.
Why'd you say that like Keelik?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Keelik.
Great guy to sound like, or feel like, I should say.
He seems chill. Keelik seems like one of the better adjusted people in Soul Calibur.
He is. He's like a warrior monk, isn't he?
Yeah. Compared to like the literal like monsters on the other team, or the rest of the cast, I should say. Like as what is his name? Asmagoth? Azeroth? Isn't that? Astaroth.
I was about to say, Azeroth is World of Warcraft.
Azeroth is World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Astaroth is the big boy in Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Keelik is cool. Hey, so this time, we thought it might be fun, because it was a funny thing that happened, to talk about this ridiculous LARP that David set up. over the weekend.
Yeah, I did. I do be setting up LARPs, apparently.
You do be setting up LARPs, known for his LARP setting up. And shouts out to the rest of the Bachelor people, but I don't know if they want to be mentioned on a podcast, although I think we will be playing a clip of Garen here in a moment, so sorry, Garen.
Garen's already been mentioned so much in this podcast. He's like the third host, essentially.
The third silent host.
Silent host. Host of the podcast, Garen.
So, first of all, we're going to talk through this LARP because it was ridiculous and funny and also related to video games. And then also, we're going to imagine what the worst video game IPs would be to adapt into a LARP.
Yes.
There are some that are good, including the one we're about to talk about, but there's some that are really bad. So, like, you know, that might be some fun stuff.
That's okay.
Some fun stuff in there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so why don't I explain what I saw from my end?
Okay.
And that might lead the viewer into pulling the curtain back for you to explain what y'all did.
Yeah, please.
We rolled back up to this Airbnb we were staying at, and I was instructed to stay outside with David and have a beer, at which point my cousin, who recently disappeared and went inside the house, sent me a text message of a transmission of not only my betrothed, I would say heroically reading some Metal Gear Solid adjacent text.
Very heroic. Huge shout outs to Emily Alice for being the biggest sport around.
Which, like, I have now seen the Google Doc that y'all have put together, and like, this is a lot. This is a lot that you'd need to kind of do. So I would say, yeah, heroics from her end.
If her love for you was ever in doubt, it is no longer.
It's true. And then is interrupted by Dr. Ravenhand, who is seemingly Garen on first blush. He is actually also Garen.
Yes.
But, you know, it's in parentheses. If this were Metal Gear Solid, it would be Dr. Ravenhand.
Garen.
In parentheses, Garen Kazanjian.
Well. If it isn't Chase, you probably weren't expecting me. A Dr. Ravenhand. I bet you thought you had me back at that reactor site, but it's going to take more than acute radiation poisoning to stop me. And now, I've got my hands on the cipher. I knew you wouldn't expect I'd hide it right underneath your nose in Emily Alice's ring. It was easy to brainwash a few of your friends to slow you down, but I knew you'd reach me eventually. Chase, I will be your doom. My advanced laser targeted systems will lock on and blast you away. But you stay away from my precious Raven, the source of my immense power. We're bonded in more ways than one. I hope you're ready to take the plunge.
So all of this leading up to the idea that it is now time to play Metal Gear Solid in real life. You, David, had dropped a box of stuff next to me. Or no, sorry, Jazz did. That was Jazz. And instructed me not to look at it until the transmission was done, which point I finished and opened up the box, and there was a tiny little Nerf gun in there and some instructions for how to play the LARP. It was essentially the gun tranquilizes people for 60 seconds and you need key cards and shit.
Yes.
There was some more mechanics in there, but I got panicked and didn't really understand them as in hindsight.
You didn't grok them.
I did not grok the, like, killing mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I was supposed to take shots if I killed somebody, but I don't know if I killed anybody.
You didn't kill me. I don't think you killed anybody.
Is it so?
You did a true pacifist run, like a real lobby.
I just tranquilized everybody.
Yeah.
And then ran away once they got back up.
Mm-hmm.
So from the other end of this, there are the rest of the bachelor party patrolling the premises.
Yes. Predetermined paths
with goggles on that essentially have blinders on your peripheral vision.
Yeah, we have duct tape on the edges and a little bit on the front of lab goggles.
Right. So you can't see very well, and y'all have got earplugs in. I didn't realize this.
Yes.
Until kind of late in the game.
Yeah.
But y'all are trying to balance for the fact that, like, sneaking is hard, and I will probably be seen if anybody is, like, you know, looking around.
Mm-hmm.
But so I roll up to the door. It has a key card sign on it with a red, or I think a blue key card, one of them. Anyway, I tranquilize Jazz, who's walking around next to me.
Yeah.
He goes down. I take literally everything off of him, including, like, a shot and some more bullets, Nerf gun bullets.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know what I'm doing with the shots. I'm just literally hitting the loot all button. Yeah,
I'm amassing shots right now.
I was take all on the inventory, and I did because I wasn't sure what I would need, so I took everything. Go inside, see a David.
That was me.
Tranquilize David, and then you are cured of a poison, of a mind control dose?
Dr. Ravenhand has brainwashed your good friends to make it harder for you to reach the cipher, which is Emily Alice's wedding ring.
Yes, of course.
So the tranquilizer knocked me conscious again.
Sure, yeah.
It unfucked me. So then I come over, I have a walkie-talkie, and I give Chase one of them, and I say, if you need any help, just walkie my talkie, baby.
Yeah.
And I'll talk it like I walk it. Sorry, this is getting out of hand.
It's turning into Amigo
This is
song.
turning into Amigo song right now. So yeah, he tranks me, and then I give him a walkie-talkie because I'm the informant that Emily Alice had sent to discover where her wedding ring had gone.
Yeah, which canonically makes sense that like her plan would get there before I do. Mm-hmm. Like whatever she was planning is potentially more effective.
She is
faster.
an independent woman. She didn't like really want or need your help, but then like things went sideways. She's like, I guess I gotta ask this guy. He's already there, so might as well send him in.
Yeah. You get up. I was convinced that there would be a third act betrayal of you betraying me again, but that luckily did not
the whole time. Dr. Ravenhand is me.
Yeah, Dr. Ravenhand.
That wouldn't have been bad.
So anyway, go through pretty much the rest of the house, like doing some sneaking stuff, getting some key cards. Max had a better gun than I did, so he made it very clear that it was like a good one. Mm-hmm. Sort of like rattled the bottom of the gun and like poked me a little bit as he was tranquilized. And I was like, oh yeah, nice gun. I will take that. But in my panic, left my other gun behind. So he had something when he woke back up, which was an oversight on my part.
Well, might as well take this gun.
I should have taken everybody's Nerf gun. That would have been really funny to just leave everybody kind of high and dry.
Where would you even have put them?
David, I had so much shit just carrying around. My pockets were just like stuffed with Nerf guns because there were more Nerf bullets that people had on them, but I was also reclaiming the bullets that I was using. So it was just like filled to the brim with Nerf or nothing. So finally got the key card to the garage, which is where Dr. Ravenhand had holed himself up. Mm-hmm. I enter in there and it is like I can't see my hand in front of my face. It not only pitch black, full of smoke from a smoke machine.
Yes.
Deeply dense smoke in there. Holy shit.
It was intense.
I was truly not expecting that part. Like once you had sent me the transmission and like all the Metal Gear Solid sounds were playing, I was like, I think I can kind of take a guess where the next like 5 minutes are going to go.
Yeah.
And like, it was still very, very fun, but like, holy shit, did I not see the boss encounter in the garage coming. That was bananas. Not to mention...
You didn't see it coming and you didn't see it.
No, certainly. Just, didn't see. Not to mention, Garen has these like glasses on that he recorded with, which are like, they light up.
They're like anime villain glasses.
Yeah, like the glasses are permanently producing light out of the lenses, which is in the garage, literally all I can see in there is just his glasses looking around.
Was it terrifying?
And he starts, it's so scary. He starts like monologuing about all the like bad shit he's doing. And I think this is also the point where Jazz turns on the boss music outside of the house. Mm-hmm. He plays the like Metal Gear Solid boss theme. And anyway, so I'm like shooting him. That doesn't really do anything. So I go over and like see that there's a light behind him. Assume that must be some sort of weak point. Go over there, unplug that. That doesn't really seem to do anything. Go back over to the fridge where I had left the walkie-talkie foolishly, and start begging for more hints. I essentially use my codec to like call my friends and be like, how do I beat this boss? You thankfully had mentioned that he did have a familiar, the Raven, on his shoulder.
Yes, I think you said, what do I do? I'm like, he has a familiar.
Yes, exactly. Which I honestly had not seen until that point. Like it was just so
dark
thick in there. I think Garen also said he like shined a light on his bird at that point. So I was like, okay, I see.
His what?
I see. Thank you.
His bird?
His bird. Yeah.
That sounds rancid.
Shine a light on his bird. So asked you to make a whole bunch of noise to distract Garen. I like tossed the walkie-talkie on the other side of the room and then snuck up behind him and grabbed the Raven. And then thus concluded the LARP.
Beautiful. Beautifully done.
Beautiful.
Truly.
It was very fun. It was a very fun thing to do. Oddly scary, too.
Good.
I feel like when you know that you and all your friends are playing a game and like shit's about to go down, it's like you get a little like performance tummy.
Performance tummy?
Yeah, like where you get
like I want to do good so bad.
Just like, I don't know what's about to happen and like maybe I'm like fighting right now. Maybe we're kind of fighting. That's cool. There's some like combat here.
There was a little combat.
Yeah. Great LARP, I will say, for like trying to physically gamify Metal Gear Solid is like that's a pretty good job of doing
Thank you.
I think the vision part of it specifically is a great thing, because like how do you control for like how easy it is to sneak around in Metal Gear, you know?
Absolutely. I can't
like you can just run past somebody in Metal Gear and they were usually like, huh?
Yeah, you think they're dumb.
Yeah.
Can't take too much credit because the goggles and the earplugs were Jazz's. Jazz follows this. This was all Jazz's idea, by the way. Shout out to Jazz.
Shout outs.
Jazz follows this YouTube channel called Corridor Crew, who do these kind of things.
Right.
And they were the ones who kind of came up with the lab goggles and earplugs thing to make a fun sneaking game. So
they sure
shout
did.
out to Corridor Crew. They have a lot of videos on their YouTube about them kind of doing this same thing where they make a Metal Gear game, and they also have like a commander who will alert all of the homies about when something bad is happening and like put you into alert mode. So then you really gotta hide. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's cool as hell.
But yeah, no, it worked pretty well, those goggles, honestly. Like I didn't think it was going to cut off my vision too much, but pretty good. But you do not have your periphery at all.
No.
And if you're a good LARPer, then you're kind of going along with the conceit of the game. So you're not trying to like look around and like find something. You're just like, okay, this is my pathway. I'm just following this.
Right.
And you just do your thing. And Chase fucking shot me as he opened the door. How quickly did you shoot me?
I think I knew that you were in there, and so I kind of had like Nerf gun drawn as I was opening the door. So I feel like it was pretty quick, but I like definitely tried to take a little bit of time to do it, because for like a while I was sitting outside shooting at Jazz and just like totally blowing it. I missed a lot shooting at Jazz.
It's Jazz a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Was that the hardest part?
The shooting?
Yeah.
It got easier. I realized that I did have to be quite close to somebody to do it. And like, also realizing that y'all had earplugs in, I could like kind of actually sneak around. So it wasn't too bad.
How accurate was the gun?
Not. I had to be pretty close to like be confident that I would hit somebody. And definitely a couple times, like I came in the room where Max was and like absolutely got shot, which as to my understanding, I had to take a shot. Literally, of the tiny little whiskeys that I was carrying around.
Yes, the tasty whiskeys.
Yes, so I did do that.
Oh, good. So you did. You did get shot.
I did get shot once. Yes.
Once. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So yeah, it was hella good. We also did play it again with Garen as the main character,
and we made it a little bit more dense for Garen because he knew what was going on. So we're just like, okay, let's make this a little bit tougher.
Turn it up to turbo.
I spied Garen a couple times trying to get in the front door, and it was funny because I saw him through the bay windows, and I just like stopped and I just like pointed and started screaming. And he just like runs away, just so scared.
Incredible. It's good. It's fun. Like it's just good stuff. Anyway, so on the way back from the Airbnb, you and I were trying to conceptualize like what would be really good games to play as a LARP, right? Like if we wanted to do something similar again, because it was really fun. Like genuinely, even if this was not a bachelor party, like I would definitely go somewhere and pay for a plane ticket and an Airbnb to do this as the activity for a weekend.
Yeah.
And so we were like kicking around like what's the best ones? I think definitely Mass Effect is up there, like just going into a room full of like aliens and trying to get something done. Like maybe you do have a gun or something.
You really could dress up gun. Pretty fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That would be a really good one. What is the other stuff we talked about? I think like Skyrim or any Elder Scrolls would be incredible to like set up a town or something that you can fuck around in and like, this is the Dark Brotherhood town. You have to kill somebody, but you're not sure who it is or whatever. Really anything where like deduction is a part of the game, I think would be just incredible.
Yeah. Like any sort of mystery solving is always fun.
Exactly. So like there's a lot of good stuff to plumb there, but we want to talk about what would be the worst video game ideas, video game IPs to pull a LARP in. Do you want to start or should I start?
Really quick before we start, as someone who's taking a LARPing class, how did we do?
I think pretty well. I think you had like made games out of the part of the video game well enough that like it made sense how things worked. Because I think a lot of the times you do want to set up like actions and consequences in games.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times with like the LARPing stuff, you have to somehow like put another layer of game on top of something, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're, say we did do do a Mass Effect thing. It's like you want to roll to see if you can convince someone to do something. An easy way is like a dice roll, right? Like I have this many Paragon points, so I'm rolling a D8 or something, and your person who you're trying to convince are open to the idea, but they need to be convinced or something like that. Maybe they roll a D4. Right. And so you're competing against those things. Or another way of seeing it is you have like a deck of cards that you start with at the beginning of every game.
Sure.
And like whenever you're in some kind of like argument with someone or you're trying to convince someone to do something, you use your deck and like pull one of your cards out of there. And, you know, it's just whichever one is higher. And so in that sense, like you can balance who has more strength for what option or like what scenario based on what cards they have and yada, 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 right? Like there's sort of a built-in sort of balance that you can do before you even start the game. So I think the ways that y'all did the Nerf gun, obviously like that's a physical thing. It's very like obvious and clear when you do or do not get shot.
Yeah.
And the having to take a shot when you also are hit in the like player character also makes a lot of sense because like what's the alternative there? You know, like that's the big threat in Metal Gear Solid is like you don't want to get caught or shot. And like what do you
What's
do
the
when
punishment for
that does like what does happen? Because like you could so easily be playing pretend and then just like what they run you out of the house and like you lose. Like that's not really fun.
Yeah.
So like here's your momentary punishment and like, you know, it fit with the theme of the kind of weekend, right? Of like it's drinking time, you know, we're hanging out. So like that was very good. And I think like having to flex the creativity a little bit at the end when fighting Garen, like the gun is no longer the solution. It has to be something else. Or, you know, figuring out that like I could have shot the bird. That also would have worked, but like you still have to think about it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think like great, all in all. So yeah, great job.
Thank you. I forgot we had a scholar amongst us.
Yeah, true. Listen, I took 3 credits about a LARP one time, so
I'm kind of an expert.
Hey, what worlds are bad for LARPing? Do you have one idea, or should I start?
Which would be like a leisure suit Larry. Oh my God, leisure suit Larry.
Yeah, that would stink pretty much for everybody involved, right?
Yeah,
like
that would be like the stereotypical bachelor party LARP game, you know. But really, it would just make everybody feel terrible. No one would win. No one would have a good time, and it would go down as a bad time for all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Especially because like Larry himself is not a particularly cool dude.
No one wants to actually like pretend that they are Larry, right?
I certainly don't.
This is a different type of Larry from the French Onion type.
Yeah, different guy. That would be pretty painful.
Yeah,
to play through.
That would not be a fun game. Need I say more? Leisure Suit Larry, if anybody doesn't know, is a game where you play as a bachelor who's just kind of a shithead. And goes around womanizing.
Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah,
I think that a bad one would be pretty much anything in a Dark Souls or Bloodborne universe.
Yeah, it's so stinky.
So stinky.
You need so much like blood and guts and mold.
Yeah, just like
rotten meat.
And just like somebody would have to play a terrible little guy, you know, just like be hidden in the corner, just sort of like giggling. And then you go up and like he sells you like a ruined coin from like a civilization that no longer exists or something.
It has the fucking lore attached to it.
Yeah, one person is playing the lore master who just like whispers like sentences that mean nothing contextually.
This sword was once wielded by the great destroyer of yore.
What? Who is that?
Oh.
No one knows his true face.
My God, I want that job so bad.
Yeah, this would be your job, to be fair.
Just the lore gremlin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're the narrator in this case.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess like sitting next to a bonfire would be cool, but that's like pretty much the only cool part about it.
Yeah, we aren't singing Kumbaya at this bonfire though. We're getting ready to go and kill some more. That's it.
Plus if you do Bloodborne, there's all sorts of shit in there that would be challenging to witness.
A lot of body horror.
Somebody would have to dress up as like a creature that's just been on the walls the whole time. And like you gain enough knowledge to see him finally.
Oh, that's terrifying. Who would be the creature?
Who would play the creature? I think Garen probably. He seems like
Garen too for some reason.
Pretty committed to the bit, I think.
Garen is an actor at heart.
Yeah. I hope by this point I've played the clip of him that was sent to us because it's good.
We might have to put it on the Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's true. I will definitely post that to Twitter if like Twitter lets me post a 3-minute video or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, not a good time in Bloodborne. Do you get another?
Yeah, satisfactory.
It's just working.
It's just manual labor at that point.
just
working. Like, okay, here's your schematics. Here's where you find your resources. Here's your shovel. Get going.
Go get coal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would not be a fun time.
Yeah, even if you're making short work of like the actual like coal mining, it still sucks. Like you're still just
it's still
working.
Coal mining.
Yeah.
Even if you're optimizing it, you're still mining. That would suck.
Also, who's gonna play the auto miner? That's not a very fun job.
Just down there. I've been in this mine for 5 years.
Yeah, no, not a good one. Can I throw Spore into the mix?
Ooh, just watching things evolve?
And specifically sort of creating creatures in Spore. Because somebody's going to have to like stand and be the paper mache monster that you're putting together.
Just one person naked and everyone else is just like painting and paper macheing stuff on them.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds fun. That could be cool.
To say. Now I'm talking you into it.
Because like as long as everybody's like cool with it, just like that's fun. Just make like a terrible monster.
Is it one person being the monster and then everyone else is doing it, or the one person decides what they do with each other?
The latter sort of sounds like a kind of a romantic group experience. So like maybe the first one, maybe the former
group experience.
I'm the game master tonight.
You're into it.
I'm into making a big paper mache bastard. I don't know if I'm into everybody showing up and like, I'm the arm. And then we all sort of like figure out where to put them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So question, would everybody then fight afterwards for supremacy?
I think that's part of Spore. So like it's got to be part of the game, right? Like which of these creatures is the dominant form?
It's just like, okay, I have a big old pokey arm, or I have a big horn on my head, or I got a big spiky tail. Here we go.
It's just sort of battle bots at a certain point.
And then it's human battle bots.
Yeah.
Human paper mache animals.
And then in true typical Spore fashion, it gets like kind of boring after that.
Yeah. You're just like, okay, I've conquered, I'm done.
All right. Yeah. Katamari Damaci would be fun and incredibly destructive and challenging to clean up the next day.
How would you even would you have to do it in the snow or something and just do like a big old snowball?
I think you either need a ball made out of tape or just a big ball of glue that you're just like reapplying glue to constantly.
Where do you get a big ball of glue?
Gotta make that ball of glue, David.
Let me see. What happens if I type in big ball of glue?
I think the internet may return some questionable stuff to you.
Largest ball of glue, Guinness World Records.
Yeah, so my thought is like you have, I don't know, like a watermelon or a volleyball at the center of your ball, and then your game master is just like dumping buckets of glue onto it continuously.
Just so much
you're
Elmer's
rolling that
glue
around. Yeah, just an incredible amount of Elmer's glue.
I hate Elmer's glue.
It's real sticky and nasty.
I hate the texture of Elmer's glue so much, and the smell. Ugh.
Listen.
Were you a glue boy?
Oh man.
Were you a glue kid?
Yeah, I think I might be a glue kid.
Oh no.
Let me be clear. I was not eating the stuff.
Okay, that's good.
I was definitely one of the kids to pour like Elmer's glue on my hand, wait for it to dry, and then peel it off though.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Really satisfying, David.
God.
I loved that. So, maybe this is the game for me. Maybe I'll just roll up a ball. And, like, I guess it would be pretty hard to find just, like, enough stuff to roll up in, like, a gamified way. Like, how do you get, like, okay, here's, like, a big enough...
We just rolling down the hill into Paso downtown, baby. Let's roll them buildings up. Touch of Paso. I am Paso now.
Sorry, Paso. You're a Katamari Damaci star now. I feel it. I feel the Paso.
Paso came charging back.
I think Clock Tower would not be super fun.
Oh.
Having to fight Sniffer Man wandering around a house.
Sniffer Man. He's just going to sniff you.
God, dude. October is so close. I can't believe it has almost been a year since Sniffer Man.
You're ready.
Yeah, I'm really excited. There's just so much like spooky games that we could play.
Do we need to do a spooky LARP?
Well, I mean, like, that's the thing. I think like LARPs in this way would lend themselves so well to like a Resident Evil or a Silent Hill. Because like it's not hard to be scary in person if you just like turn the lights off, you know, like if you have just kind of low lighting and like instead of sneaking around, there's just like we're pretending to be like monsters. That's scary. That's already scary. So like I feel like you could definitely do a Silent Hill thing. Just a haunted house, I guess.
Pyramid Head.
Oh my god, yeah.
Well, it's an interactive haunted house, and everybody is actually your friend.
Yeah.
So you know they're not like actually gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, true.
Maybe you die. Who knows?
Similar to your Satisfactory idea, I think Death Stranding would be quite bad as a LARP.
Just go work for Amazon.
Yeah, you're just working. You're moving stuff.
Yeah, that would not be a fun one.
Plus, you would need to have some sort of baby stand-in on your chest at all times.
Yeah, that would not be good. What's a good game that would make a bad LARP?
Death Stranding.
Besides the one you just said, Chase.
A good game. I mean, like most of these, right? Like Bloodborne owns. Katamari Damaci is hella good. Nier Automata.
Yeah. Also a kind of a problematic LARP.
Nier Automata? Yeah. Yeah, there's parts of it that I don't think would translate particularly well.
Yeah.
I think the outfits would maybe not make it into the actual LARP. But like, how do you communicate cycles of violence and existential dread in a LARP, you know?
You just have to get really high on like acid, or DMT, or something.
The
Maybe
LARP is
DMT,
suddenly very...
actually.
Yeah, I think we're talking about a different LARP at this point.
That could be a LARP, baby. This is a week-long LARP.
God, dude.
We're just going to release you into the Arizona desert.
This sounds so bad. This sounds so terrible. Can you imagine the real life LARP, but just like actually on like DMT? That would be so terrible.
That would be the opposite of good time. Exact opposite of good time.
Unless it was Metal Gear Solid, in which I would be Solid Snake.
Solid Snake? Solidus Snake? Liquid Snake? Choose your snake, baby.
Choose your snake. Do you have any other bad IPs?
Bad LARPs. Let me think. There's gotta be some more in there. Subnautica.
Oh my god. Oh, it's so bad. That would be so scary, David.
Yeah.
Like,
here you are. You're just in the middle of the ocean.
Even if we just put me in like the river, I would still be so scared.
The only way to get out is dive deep into the river. Find your shit.
One of you just dressed up as a Leviathan down there. With a megaphone screaming. Oh my god, yeah, no, I'm not good with water. I saw a TikTok the other day of somebody who was just like, they said, I'm 10 miles from any landmass and the water below me is like 3 miles deep or something like that, and they just like dipped their head underwater and like I almost threw up. It was so bad. I cannot handle open bodies of water. It's so scary.
Where is he? Where is this person?
I don't know. I'm sure fine, because like they went out there and filmed the TikTok, but still couldn't do it. It's so.
You don't like isolation, huh?
See, like Antarctica, if I was just like out there, it's like a little less scary. I'm like confident in my ability to like get to someplace, or like the desert or the forest or something. Like I feel like I can figure it out, especially the forest. I feel like there's like food out there. I probably won't get eaten by a bear, and like just walk in a direction, find the moss, man. But like the ocean, I'm a bad swimmer.
The ocean.
I'm a bad swimmer, and like there's so much below me. If I just like stop walking in the forest, I'm just like in the forest still, just kind of sitting there. If I stop treading water, I'm gonna fall into the fucking abyss in the sea. That's not good. That is not a good time. I do not enjoy this.
That's fair. Okay, so we know Chase's deep dark fears.
Big water. I think Mr. Mosquito would be a bad LARP. In a total tonal shift.
Just like take a syringe and just try to get blood from folks.
Just jab your friends, or even just like dressing up as a gigantic mosquito and trying to like get your friends with a friendly poke.
Strangers. Just go around in a bar.
Oh my god, you're getting kicked out of this bar so fast.
Oh yeah, if you come in, dress up as a mosquito and have a syringe, pass it, you get a shot.
This is for a game. Don't worry.
It's only a real syringe, and I'm really gonna take your blood.
Yeah. Which is it's cool. It doesn't have malaria. I promise.
It definitely doesn't have malaria on it.
Yeah.
This is definitely a clean needle right now.
These are all so scary. The ideas that we have come up with, just bad, scary ideas.
They're not good. They're bad.
Any other bad IPs?
Oh, there's got to be so many.
I think Sonic is probably not a good one. Because
who wants to actually like run around with a hedgehog?
You're LARPing as Tails in that scenario.
And all you're doing, you're just at the local track and you're just like running a mile while carrying a hedgehog.
That's good.
I feel like God of War wouldn't be very good.
No, like even if you're like gamifying it to the point where you're just like throwing the chain blades at your friends, like it's gonna hurt. It's not gonna be so fun.
Yeah, that one's just gonna be painful. It's gonna be a lot of whacking.
And a lot of screaming at Ares. Ares! Or alternatively, grappling with your past, which maybe isn't the worst LARP.
Or it's just saying boy.
And thinking about your dad.
Thinking about my dad. I'm now a dad with a boy. Oh my gosh. Comes full circle.
Trying to break this generational trauma in a LARP.
What if we got Ribalbi to play Zeus?
Jesus, dude. Yeah, I would call timeout on that one. I think I'd be like, this is a little too much for me, thanks.
Would you really? You'd just be like, I can't, guys.
I would have so many questions that I would need answered about how my dad, like, knows what a LARP is.
Like, if your dad showed up to this one as like, hey, my name's Big Chase.
Yeah, I would need a moment to sort of think about that.
I'm the big to your solid.
It's good. It's nice.
Big Bob Albee.
Big Bobalby. Oh, Streets of Rage or like Final Fight or something. Just
Backyard
getting in a
wrestling.
fight. Yeah, any sort of WWE style game. Nothing. No fighting game. Literally zero fighting games.
Def Jam Vendetta.
Yeah, no, bad. Very bad. Because like you can gamify that, but like you probably should just be wrestling, you know?
Just do some old fashioned wrestling. You don't have to do like suplexes and like crazy shit where people are breaking legs and whatnot. That's no fun.
If I try and do a Hadouken, I will like bust my leg. Yeah, I think there's probably a million bad games, but why don't
you, dear listener, share your bad LARPs with us?
Yeah, I would love to hear like the worst video game LARP that you could come up with. That would be very fun because there's so many video games. There's so few video games that would make a good LARP. I feel like most other games would be pretty tough.
Ooh, Gex.
I mean, Gex is a lifestyle, David, and I'm living it.
I think Gex would just be, once again, you just take like a bunch of drugs and they just put you in a fun house.
Yeah.
With just the Gex audio going over loudspeakers outside.
Oh, this is so bad.
That's what playing Gex is like.
That is sort of what playing Gex is like, isn't it?
It's like, what? Huh? Wait a minute. Hey, what's going on?
Just a painful experience. Why is there so much Polyshore in here? Yeah. Anyway, do a LARP.
Do it. Good for you.
Do it. It's good for you. It's fun. Don't be scared by the phrase LARPing.
No, it's fun.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Like I don't see a reason why someone who doesn't like playing a role-playing game would not enjoy a LARP of some sort, at least a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Like, they're very similar things.
Play a LARP. It's good for you now.
LARPs are good for you. Yeah.
It's good for you.
So, if you would like to suggest a game or have access to any of our social media accounts, you can go to podtimism.com.
That is true.
That's us. That's our website that Chase made. It's awesome. It's great.
Thanks.
There is a suggestion box on there of games for us to do for good games. Or, if you like are a fan of any of our other segments, put in like what games you want us to make a sequel to, or if you want to run retellings of something, let us know what it is. We will do it. We will get there. We may not be right now, but we'll do it eventually.
It is true. We've seen quite a few suggestions, so like we've got our itinerary set for a little while. But feel free to toss in whatever you want. We haven't done run retellings in a while, nor making a sequel to something, but like definitely bring it back if somebody's like, hey, could you please retell me the Kingdom Hearts 1 story, but while under the influence of alcohol?
Alcohol is the last call for alcohol.
What song is that?
That's some Kanye West song. I forget which one.
Okay, nice. So feel free to toss anything in the suggestion box that you want. And thanks to anybody who has already done that. It's very, very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Also, this is the Scout Out of the Week. Scout Wilkinson, thank you so much. The pod art is great.
It's good. It's great.
co-fi.com/humblegoat. That's her spot. Our commission's open. Chase.
No.
They are not. She's a busy woman because talent works, baby.
That is true.
So, yeah, but she's great. Thank you so much. We are the Flower Boys. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Scout. Appreciate you greatly.
Yeah. Also, if you really want to help us out, you can leave a what is that thing? A review.
Yes.
from the podcatcher of your choice. You can follow us. It all helps. We really appreciate it. Have there been any new reviews lately, Chase?
Yeah, a few. I definitely see more often on Spotify, and I suspect that is like because it is much easier to do on Spotify. So like, thanks to anybody who's doing that. It like definitely super helps.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thanks for the folks who do that.
Appreciate it so much. And also thank you, listener, for listening to this podcast. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. We love doing this. We love that you love listening to us do this. And we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Thank you dearly. It does mean a lot. Yeah, it's shocking that anybody chooses this podcast over the other mountain of video game podcasts, but we do appreciate that you do. For taking a look at this little one. So thanks. Appreciate you.
Do you have any video game wisdom for us this week, Chase?
You should do a LARP with your friends is my video game wisdom. It's fun and cool, and it's like D&D, but you have to like do it, and that's fun too.
You got to move your body.
Got to move your body a little bit. Or just like, it's like physical, sort of.
You said
it's good.
You said you did some rolls.
Yeah, you can roll a dice. That's fine too.
No, but you said you actually rolled.
Oh yeah, I did do a little bit of a roll into a room.
Nice.
It was, nobody saw it, and it was particularly rough, I will say, but like, I did do a roll into a room. It sounded a lot worse than I was hoping it would.
How so?
It just sort of sounded like a big bag of potatoes like falling on the ground. Like a lot of volume hitting the carpet.
That's awesome.
Like
big bag of potatoes, Albie.
You see somebody do it in Dark Souls, and you're like, that looked pretty graceful. But when you try and do it in real life, you kind of tuck your shoulder down. There's just a lot of like thumping that happens.
That person is also wearing like 200 pounds of chain mail.
Yeah, and I was just wearing like some Nerf darts.
Some Nerf darts. It was all the shots you had in your pockets.
I don't know if that was it, David. I appreciate you trying to make me feel better about this bachelor role, but like, I think it was just the sort of state of my back and my body hitting the Paso Boomer Airbnb.
That was the broiest B&B I've ever been to.
It had a pool.
Pool, so nice.
The pool was so nice. I haven't been in like a pool that's like well maintained in so long.
Truly. Yeah.
It's so good. Or alternatively, a pool where there's not like 2,000 people around, you know?
Yeah. Good private poo.
A good private poo. So anyway, listener, I hope you have a wonderful week. I think you should LARP and like take a dip in the pool if you can.
Beautiful.
You know? It's still pretty hot out in a lot of places. And like, you know what feels good? A pool, the beach, just like some air, some misters. Walk through some misters. Go to the grocery store, just like dunk your head under those misters that they spray the broccoli with.
You got to go, once you hear the lightning crack, you got to run over to the produce aisle, dunk your head in, get all your nasty germs all over the fresh produce.
It's my bachelor weekend.
God.
This is a LARP.
I would puke if I saw someone do that in the grocery store.
That's an appropriate response to someone shouting that it's a LARP and running under the misters.
It's just like taking their shirt off and rubbing their chest in it.
This is Metal Gear Solid.
I gotta get the nanobots off of me. This is the only flushing spray within a mile radius.
Naomi said this is how I get the fox dye out.
I gotta do this so I can go save Emma Emmerich. EE for short.
EE. Take care, listener.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.